Imagine needing a rare book, one that is out of print in all bookstores. Then, by chance, you find a lost copy on a park bench. Now, imagine that this book once belonged to you in the past but was lost years ago. This story is not fiction. It is exactly what happened to actor Anthony Hopkins when he needed a specific book for a movie role. It seems as if fate conspired to bring the book back to him at the perfect moment. But was this just a coincidence? Or is there a deeper meaning behind these unexpected events? Carl Jung called these phenomena synchronicity, events that are connected not by causality but by meaning. These are moments when reality seems to send us hidden messages, guiding us toward a greater purpose. Synchronicity does not happen randomly. There is a pattern behind these experiences, and today we will explore some types of synchronicity that can transform your perception of reality. Throughout history, there have been accounts of mysterious figures who appear at just the right moment to deliver an essential message. In ancient mythologies, Hermes, the messenger god, carried warnings from the gods to humans. In religions, we find angels bringing revelations. But what does this have to do with synchronicity? Carl Jung identified universal patterns that emerge from the collective unconscious, known as archetypes. One of the most intriguing is the messenger archetype, which appears in synchronicities as signs, symbols, or unexpected encounters. Messengers often take unexpected forms. A seemingly casual conversation may hold a deep meaning. A book might fall off a shelf, opening to the exact page with the answer you've been searching for. An animal might cross your path repeatedly, drawing your attention to a deeper symbolic meaning. The biggest challenge is distinguishing a true message from an illusion. Humans have a natural tendency to seek patterns and meanings, which can sometimes lead to misinterpretations. Not every unusual event carries a profound meaning. The key to correctly interpreting these messages is introspection. When a possible synchronicity occurs, instead of immediately accepting it as a sign, ask yourself, what does this awaken in me? How does this message connect to my current reality? Often, the emotional impact of an event is the key to understanding whether it truly holds a hidden meaning or is just a random coincidence. One must be willing to listen with real attention, as the universe's messages are not always obvious. They may manifest in small details, unexpected encounters, or words that resonate deeply. Synchronicities are not mere coincidences. They follow a structure, a pattern that repeats in different contexts and moments of life. Carl Jung believed that these meaningful connections do not happen by chance, but as manifestations of the collective unconscious intertwining with objective reality. The first type is warning or alert synchronicity. This occurs when an unexpected event seems to intervene in our path to prevent us from following a potentially harmful direction. Imagine you are about to make a big decision, and just before, a series of small setbacks arise, making your choice more difficult. Your car breaks down on the day of an important trip, an email mysteriously fails to send, or a delayed meeting causes you to miss an opportunity that seemed promising. Sometimes, these interruptions are not just obstacles but signals urging you to pause and reassess your course. The second type is confirmation synchronicity. When we are about to make an important decision or take a new direction, the universe may send signs that reinforce our choice. Suppose you decide to switch careers, and on the same day you run into an old friend who made the same transition and shares an inspiring story. Or perhaps you're considering a relationship, and suddenly, a song plays on the radio with lyrics that seem to speak directly to your situation. These coincidences are not definitive proof but act as anchors that deeply resonate with our intuition. The third type is prophetic synchronicity, which manifests through dreams, symbols, or recurring patterns that seem to anticipate the future. Some people report dreaming of events before they happen or noticing repeated signs, such as specific numbers, animals, or phrases that appear at key moments. The unconscious mind often picks up information beyond ordinary perception, and these fragments emerge in our awareness as clues hinting at what is to come. The fourth type is manifestation synchronicity, which occurs when a thought or desire materializes in a surprising way. You think of someone you haven't seen in years, and that same day they contact you. Or you reflect on a work-related idea, and shortly after you receive an unexpected job offer in that exact field. This type of synchronicity is deeply connected to how our energy influences the world around us. The fifth and final type is opportunity synchronicity, which happens when the universe aligns events and circumstances to open a new path. Sometimes, a door closing leads directly to another opportunity you would never have considered. An unexpected delay might place you in the right place at the right time to meet someone who will have a decisive impact on your life. This type of synchronicity reminds us that unexpected changes often carry hidden opportunities. The key to recognizing these 5 types of synchronicity is developing a state of presence and awareness. The more attentive we are to the small details of daily life, the more capable we become of identifying the hidden patterns that connect our thoughts, emotions, and experiences to the flow of reality. Altered states of consciousness, such as deep meditation, lucid dreams, and even moments of intense creativity, seem to increase the frequency of synchronic experiences. Jung observed that the unconscious becomes more accessible when we are in expanded states of perception, allowing synchronicity to manifest more clearly. Many accounts suggest that deep meditation or spiritual practices can intensify these meaningful coincidences. When the mind frees itself from the constraints of linear logic, it becomes more receptive to the subtle connections linking internal and external events. Another interesting aspect is the influence of intense emotional states. Moments of crisis, radical changes, or periods of deep introspection tend to generate more frequent synchronicities. This suggests that synchronicity is not just an external phenomenon but something that responds to our internal state. When we are emotionally open and receptive, the universe seems to respond with more evident signs. Jung believed that everyone carries a shadow, repressed aspects of our personality that remain unconscious. Interestingly, synchronicity often reflects this hidden part of ourselves, bringing to light patterns we need to recognize and integrate. Imagine someone who repeatedly attracts relationships with the same type of conflict. Instead of seeing this as mere bad luck, it can be interpreted as a reflection of unresolved unconscious patterns. The repetition of these events may be a call to look within and understand what needs to be worked on internally. Another common example is synchronicities related to fears or traumas. If someone has a deep fear of failure, they might notice recurring signs that seem to reinforce that belief. This doesn't mean the universe is against them, but rather that their psyche is projecting and attracting situations that mirror their internal state. When these events are recognized as reflections of the shadow, it becomes possible to integrate them and transform limiting patterns. By learning to interpret these signs not just as positive confirmations but as messages from the unconscious, synchronicity becomes a powerful tool for self-knowledge and individuation. The search for meaning is one of the most powerful forces of the human psyche. Since ancient times, we have tried to decipher the universe's signs by interpreting stars, natural patterns, and daily coincidences. However, this same need to find meaning can lead us to see patterns where none exist. Carl Jung himself warned about the danger of ego inflation, a state in which a person believes their experiences and interpretations hold a special and absolute meaning. When this happens, synchronicity stops being a natural phenomenon and becomes a mental trap. The illusion begins when we start interpreting every coincidence as an undeniable sign of destiny. The idea that the universe is constantly conspiring in our favor can be seductive but also dangerous. Another risk is projecting our own desires and fears onto synchronicities. When we are obsessed with a particular outcome, our mind may create illusory confirmations. If we deeply want something to happen, we begin to see signs that reinforce that idea, ignoring any contradictory evidence. This phenomenon, known as confirmation bias, makes us focus only on what validates our beliefs while dismissing information that could lead to a more balanced decision. Furthermore, there is the danger of developing a paranoid mindset. When every random event becomes a sign to be deciphered, reality loses its neutrality and turns into a web of hidden messages. This can lead to anxiety, obsession, and even detachment from objective reality. The solution to avoiding these traps is not to reject synchronicity but to approach it with discernment. The true meaning of a synchronic event cannot be forced. It must be understood through a genuine connection between the experience and the person's internal context. Genuine synchronicity carries a sense of connection and depth but never imposes or forces a specific interpretation. It does not create anxiety or obsession, but instead fosters a broader understanding of the interconnection between the mind and reality. Synchronicity is constantly manifesting, but not everyone is attentive enough to notice it. The modern mind, preoccupied with distractions and endless stimuli, often overlooks the subtle signs the universe presents. To cultivate a deeper connection with these meaningful events, it is necessary to develop a state of presence and openness. The first step is to practice mindfulness. A recurring thought, an unexpected conversation, or a chance encounter. All of these could be part of a larger pattern. Observing without haste or judgment allows these experiences to become more evident. Keeping a synchronicity journal is also a valuable tool. Writing about these events helps us identify patterns that might otherwise go unnoticed. Additionally, reviewing past entries can reveal connections between different moments in life. Another way to strengthen this connection is to step out of your comfort zone. By exploring new places, meeting new people, and trying different activities, we increase the chances of encountering meaningful events. The unexpected happens more often when we allow ourselves to be open to the unknown. Intuition plays a key role in recognizing synchronicity. The more we develop self-awareness, the more sensitive we become to the subtle messages life sends us. Intuition and synchronicity go hand in hand, as both operate on an unconscious level. However, just as it is important to pay attention to the universe's messages, it is equally important to stay grounded. The balance between reason and intuition allows synchronicity to be used as a tool for personal growth rather than an escape from reality. It's not about waiting for the universe to do all the work for us, but understanding that when we align with our true purpose, events begin to organize themselves in surprising ways. When we pay attention to meaningful coincidences, we realize that there is a deep connection between our inner world and external reality. Carl Jung believed that these events serve as points of contact between the unconscious and the conscious, helping us find direction and purpose. However, truly understanding synchronicity requires a balance between openness and discernment. It invites us to look beyond the surface and recognize that existence may be far more interconnected than we imagine.